Ooh,
Okay.
all right. Well, I feel like and you just kind of you walk up quietly to the stage and be like, oh, okay, please don't kill me, Allie. So all right. If you're feeling nervous, I'll feel a little stronger about how things are going here. Okay.
That's part of my strategy.
Awesome. So we have had a to go hybrid or not discussion, and now we are going to take a different route, and we are going to talk about work from anywhere versus working in your home. And so we have Allie, who is a digital nomad, loves the travel life, and she's going up against Tyler here, and he is a deep-rooted dad, and they are going to go head to head in which is the best lifestyle for remote workers. A little bit about Tyler. He has a thing with air horns, and he has air horn in the back. He also
it's my last name. It's my last name. It's the personal branding nonsense, right? Just try to lean into it, right? Enthusiasm plus my name has a horn in it, so there you go.
And it's a real air horn for all of
yeah, there it is. There it is, right there. We've got the loudspeaker there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not ant-sized.
Before Tyler joined this whole world of remote work, he was a teacher, and we have a great quote from his LinkedIn page, which sums up who he is and those deep roots. So he is a spouse, he is a parent, he is a youth sports coach, he's a part of his faith community, he's a remote work advocate, and he makes sure that his profession is in service to those other identities. And so we are going to be discussing those today. Tyler comes in with a lot of energy, both on LinkedIn and the chat. So I'm excited to hear him debate. But first, we're going to do 1 minute. Allie, you get to go first again. We're putting you up. And so the question is, why does this matter? Work anywhere or work from your home? Let me get the timer. Okay, go.
So digital nomads get a bad reputation. People assume that it means that we're working on the beach. That doesn't work. Standing keyboards is not good for anybody. It's not about trying to live a glamorous lifestyle. Location independence means that you're able to work from anywhere and that you can change that location as much as you want. So maybe sometimes you do work from home, or many homes, in the case has been my life, and you find comfort in that belonging. But why not stop there? You can have it all. So by traveling, by changing up your location, you can find more creativity, and you can really live the best version of yourself without having to make a choice. Have it all, location independence, work from anywhere, work from everywhere.
Awesome. Thanks, Allie. Just to let you know, we have some trash talking already going on in the comments as you're going. So I just want you to be able to do the same to Tyler because he is up next. Tyler, I'm going to give you 1 minute and tell us why you think this topic is important. Go.
Here's why digital nomadism is the worst. Okay. let's just be really, really upfront. You all are ruining the world. You are ruining neighborhoods. Just take a look at that picture, right? At the link that I said there, right? Yeah, less housing to invest in, more housing to live in. That's what you guys have done to Mexico City, right? You've ruined one of the greatest world capitals the world has ever known, and that's just one example of many, right? And I think it's really terrible what you guys have chosen to do. You've got this lifestyle that is incredibly selfish and self-focused. You want to be freewheeling and work from anywhere and forget the consequences. I'm just going to be, wherever I happen to be and footloose and fancy free without any recognition of what you've done to the places that you are residing.
Whoa. Okay. So we have a strong take. Allie, just to let you know, you're ruining the entire world. So I don't want you to have too much weight on your shoulders, but this is what Tyler has said. Tyler, I just want to say, I think you are on the brink of millennial and Gen X, but you are sounding.
I am definitely, I'm definitely like a Gray Temple's dad here. Yes. That's what's going on here.
Okay, so we have some really strong takes going on. I am curious how our round of making a case will go. Ali, you get 3 minutes, and I hope you're riled up and that your blood is bubbling a little bit because Tyler is getting under your skin. So with that, 3 minutes.
My blood is bubbling. I will say, when it comes to this idea of ethical issues, is it the responsibility of the individual, or is it the responsibility of the society, the government, to ensure that there are safeguards in place to make sure these are not happening? And what about the digital nomads doing things for good? So revitalizing rural communities and areas, such as people that are visiting co-living places in Sayu, Chateau Co-Living in Normandy, all of the work that is happening in Madeira, which is not only fueling benefits for digital nomads, but also for local companies, small businesses to learn about entrepreneurship and to build themselves up as well. I do think that in the past there has been overextension in one way, and now it's time to learn how to merge these communities together to make sure that we're being thoughtful and giving back to the communities that we're spending time in. And outside of that, there is a way to use our time in traveling to better educate ourselves. I think that travel while work is an incredibly enriching experience. It inspires creativity by shaking yourself out of your daily routine. You start having to question assumptions about who you are, what you believe in, why things are true that you thought were true your whole life growing up, and learn things differently about other cultures. And this knowledge not only grows you as a person, but it can help make your company successful. Infusing this knowledge back can help with things like problem solving, innovation, making sure the products and services you're offering can help people in all of the markets in which you're offering those products and services. And when things happen and bad things happen, you need to learn how to be self-reliant. That autonomy is something you're looking for when it comes to building trust in a remote worker. And so when it comes down to things like building relationships, inspiring creativity, problem solving, self-reliance, and cultural sensitivity, nobody does it better than a digital nomad. But I'm not going to stop there, because I have less than a minute left. And I'm going to talk about things that you can do this in any situation. And so people always think that digital nomads are these freewheeling people, as Tyler said. But you can see digital nomads nowadays, singles, couples, families, and looking at how children can be educated in this idea of cultural sensitivity. You can have parallel play as work and co-work with people that are not just your coworkers in a hybrid situation like I talked about with Rob. But I co-work, for example, with someone who owned a yoga studio. And what I learned about, marketing your business and pricing models for yoga were very helpful for me in HR in terms of talking about salaries with potential clients. And I would have never had those opportunities to do that if I was not traveling.
Okay, awesome, Ali. Nice 3 minutes. Just to let you know, Tyler made a very small concession, and he said that at least you helped push remote work forward, even if digital nomads are the worst people on earth. So just letting you know, there's a little bit that he's given you. With that, we are going to do 3 minutes. Tyler, you get to make your case. So tell us about this work from home life and the joys of Indiana.
Right. So, yes, I'm dialing in from Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I am residing nearby family. Right. I've not gone off to some other place to like go and ruin it. Right. Instead, I've chosen to set down roots in my spouse's hometown and raising our family near family. We are investing the amazing amounts of money that I've been able to do the location arbitrage of having a really cool tech job in a the rural part of Northeast Indiana. Like, we're the education and healthcare hub of a really large rural area, and we're a part of the re-people movement of people like Nacho Rodriguez, right, who has been transforming the Canary Islands into a place for people to reside and to not just only visit as tourists, but to set down roots as people who are connected to their communities. And I think it's one of these things that, yes, I've given this concession to digital nomads to to demonstrate that it's possible to have a location independent work style. But what's more important is for us to recognize that we should be hiring people from where they are from in the first place, rather than allowing people to go wherever they like. That is disrespectful to the communities in which we are airdropping in and out of, and oftentimes taking up driving up home prices and all of those sorts of things. Whereas instead, what have I done? I've invested my time and my effort into the community that I already reside in. You mentioned it right off the top, Tam. You said that I am a spouse, I am a parent, I'm a youth sports coach, right? I'm a faith community member, and all of those things are served by my profession instead of subsumed by my inquenchable thirst for travel and being able to experience the world. It almost feels like I need a hair flip included in that. So I'm virtually flipping hair that I don't have there. That, like, I think it is. I'm going way in too hard on this, but it's one of those things that I think is something we need to respect, the fact that how we choose to live our lives has an impact beyond just our own selves. And by myself choosing to be here and staying connected to the same communities that I was in when I was working in a co-located job, right? I am now able to give back to those same communities at the same or better levels than I was before, right? I'm really looking forward to coaching Little League this spring, right? Those are things that we need more of, those people, and less of those people going to the Canary Islands and disappearing from our communities.
Okay, you have 5 seconds left, Tyler, if you have any last words.
Yeah, just agree with me.
Just agree with him. That's all he has to say. So we are getting some strong opinions from the audience. There are people that are seeing points from both sides. There is a comment in here that what happens when a country is involved with war conflict. Sometimes somebody's home is not necessarily safe to even be in anymore. So with that, Allie, we're going to do 2 minutes each side, and you can do a rebuttal. You can do a lessons learned. You can meet in the middle, however you want to use this time. But I'll give you 2 minutes to respond to some of Tyler's very hot takes.
There are 2 things Tyler said that resonate with me immensely. Number 1, a sense of community. I think the biggest question to ask is, what if you've never had a sense of community in places you were born or places that you have roots? There's 2 choices that you can make. You can work endlessly against that to try to build a community, or you can seek people that share your values, that share your vibe, and build a community despite any location. What I have been able to find in this digital nomad circle is that no matter where I go in the world, there's somebody that I know or knows somebody that I know that becomes a friend of a friend that I can lean on for support, for tips, for advice. And that's not something that I've ever had before. And so community means different things to different people, and embracing that it is important and finding what it means for you and making that work is top. Whether it's community in your local geographical area, whether it's community in digital nomadism, whether it's community with your coworkers, or defining coworkers differently, and it's just community within the people you physically work with, even if they don't work at your same company. Hugely important. Number 2, I don't think people should have to leave the country that they are from in order to find amazing jobs and jobs that excite them and bring them passion and bring them the money that they deserve. I think for other people that have jobs, that want jobs and want to travel, they can also do that. And so opening up what digital nomads mean can be really important. We're not saying don't hire people from other countries. That's a huge benefit of remote work. I will stand on that platform forever. But I am saying that you can be a part-time digital nomad. You can be a slow mad, a long-term digital nomad. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Awesome. Thank you, Allie. I just want to let you know, Tyler no longer thinks you're the worst person on earth, like the rest of the digital nomads. He is making more and more concessions. He's actually saying you're aligned on a lot of things. So your cases are working. You are changing Tyler's opinion. Tyler, you are going to get 2 minutes. and tell us, please, now what you are learning and where you are ending in this debate with Allie.
No. See, I'm two different people, right? I'm one person on the mic and another person in the chat. Have you figured this out yet? There's this like disintegration of no. You're exactly right. I am one person in both places. I do happen to agree with so much of what Allie is saying, but here's the thing. What if there's a way to see this as a both and instead of an either or? What if, we this debate is really just a false dichotomy, right? And that's what I was saying in the chat. It's just that, we're kind of, ginning up the fight to kind of like have a go. In fact, we were talking earlier this week on LinkedIn that, analogies to violent language is probably something that we should, go there. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I am going to reply to some emails this weekend. I'm wearing the snow sweater today because we're going to go skiing this weekend. So yeah, I probably will reply to some emails when I'm not in my home office, right? Like these are things that is possible because of the things that we've learned. What I'm trying to say is that what's even better about having a home base or embracing the slow madism or like the rooted madism, right? Like where I am a dad who is rooted to the spot here, we have an opportunity to be able to travel and do cool, really cool things because I am working a job that isn't connected to my location. And I can do it from a place where we are raising our family next to family, right? I think it's what we're being invited into is to say, requiring people to unroot themselves on the daily to go into an office, right? That's over. And we should never go back to that. In fact, we should be enabling everyone to live their best lives, whether that's in the south of France, Allie, or whether that's, in Northeast Indiana.
Awesome. So I think we're saying, however you are rooted, if you are rooted to the wind and where the world takes you, more like Allie, or if you're rooted to Fort Wayne, Indiana, both of them mean that you don't have to be rooted every single day to an office location. I do have a question. So we are talking about location. Tyler, what's your favorite place in Fort Wayne? If you had somebody that was visiting for a day, where should they go? And then Allie, you're going to say one place that you've been as a digital nomad and describe a perfect day. And then we're going to go to some questions from the audience.
Well, I love the opportunity to go for a walk outdoors in one of the many parks. We have lots of rivers here in Fort Wayne, and there is a linear park along the river on the riverside. It's the River Greenway, and like it's really great. We were talking about Japan earlier. There's a really cool Japanese word that's called like tree washing, where you walk,
tree bathing, right?
Yes, the tree bathing. Yes, where you walk through the trees, and like that's my favorite is getting to ride bikes or go for a walk out of doors, because there's lots and lots of like really flat. You can walk forever. Listen to a podcast, or that's one of my very favorite things to do just before I get started with my workday is to listen into one of my favorite digital nomad. Lately, there's probably a previous life where Tyler is traveling the world that doesn't have him rooted to the spot, raising family near family. So yes, I'm there it is. Shinrin Roku. Darcy came through with the word for us. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Darcy. So it sounds like, Tyler, what you enjoy doing is forest bathing in Fort Wayne while listening to people that are digital nomads. And so that is an interesting compromise where your mind is somewhere else, but your feet are planted on the ground.
Full on internet person on the internet doing internet things. Yes, that's me.
Awesome. Allie, you describe a perfect day as a digital nomad, and then we have some questions and comments from the audience.
My favorite part of being a digital nomad and a hack that is in our book is one place, one goal. So I am a coffee fiend, and my favorite thing to do in coffee shops in new towns is to find the best coffee shops that exist in a town. I do that while working because work makes me feel more grounded. And so my favorite day as a digital nomad would be to do something outdoorsy and active and beautiful in the morning, to have a nice lunch at a cafe and chat with some coworkers that are not coworkers, and then spend the rest of the afternoon getting caffeinated, jumping from place to place, going through my task list, each coffee shop with a new goal in mind. So in one coffee shop, I might write an article. In the next coffee shop, I might try to get to inbox 0, which I think is overrated. We won't get into that. But that is how I like to structure my work days. And it allows me to, in between each coffee shop, take walks, appreciate the architecture, the surroundings, and give back to places in the communities that I'm going to.
Awesome. Thanks, Allie. So one compromise that came from the audience is from Emily, and she mentioned work from community. So WFC sounds like what you both might agree on. That is location agnostic. I also found out that my friend Allie Brandt, who we interviewed for the book, and we used to be next door neighbors in San Francisco, might be moving to Colorado, which is very exciting. I have her family's holiday card on my refrigerator, and they are a very outdoorsy family. So that sounds very fitting. Does anybody else have questions or comments that they want to make about this kind of working from anywhere? I heard a lot of people
I'm totally walking away with work from community. Ooh, yes, please. Like we all need more of that in our lives, right? Where to say like, so that my favorite cafe to work from is a barbecue spot here in Fort Wayne called Shigs and Pit, which if you know Pig Latin, you can kind of, like reorder the consonant sounds to have
I can
fun
tell you
with
were
that.
a teacher because you're like, you can't totally say what it is.
Yeah. Well, no. They've reordered it around, right? So, it's a fantastic spot that I meet friends for lunch, right? And like that opportunity, right, didn't exist for me as a school teacher living in Fort Wayne, right? I'm trying to shovel in, a half-hour lunch, between classes, right? Whereas, now we're working as a teaching oriented technologist, right? I can take that moment to be connected, even more connected to my community as a worker, as a professional.
Great. Thank you. Allie, we have a lot of people in the audience that are also coffee fiends. I am too. One thing I thought that might be interesting to share is I had a question that came last week when I was giving a talk, and a woman came up afterwards. She's like, yeah, I want to be with community more, but I have a hard time like concentrating if I'm actually with people in a cafe. Can you talk a little bit about parallel play and what it might look like to have a friend to work with versus a friend at work?
Yeah, so this is a concept that I've been inspired by with child development. And so it's quite common for kids as they're learning naturally social interaction to play with each other on the same exact thing, but play separately. So one child might be coloring in a coloring book with robots, another child might be coloring in another coloring book with astronauts, and they're sitting together, but they're in their own zone. I like to take that concept to adulthood, and what we learned from that and what we learned from work is that that's a predecessor to show and tell, talking about what you're working on and showing things off. And so if you can find, other people call them accountability buddies, the way you can set it up is go to a coffee shop with somebody, set a timer, like take your phone and set a timer, 10 minutes of chit chat, build that social connection, tell each other what you want to get done separately when you're at that coffee shop, and then work at the coffee shop for an hour, hour and a half by yourself sitting at the same table, and then take a break and talk about what did you get done? What did you work on? How did it go? You get that social connection, you get that accountability partner, you get out of your house, you get your coffee. It's a win-win-win all over the place. And
I do that with remote colleagues too, where we'll be on a voice call and we'll be working on things separately, and we'll check back in on a timer. I love that version of things, because it really does like make you feel like, especially if you're like working on adjacent tasks or similar tasks or the same task, but just you need, both of you working on it. like you can do some quick iterations of like, hey, I just learned this from this reply, or those sorts of behaviors where it's like, okay, maybe we can't physically be co-located, but we can mentally be co-located in terms of where we're working, inside of the digital workplace of our stuff, right? That I think that is a really cool. I mean, I wonder if you guys have had that experience of like where you were writing together or some sort of thing on the book.
Yeah. So we, as we said in our meet cute, we met in Cape Town, and then we were nomads and ran kind of a little nomad community in Belgrade in Mexico City. I'm sorry that we're a part of gentrifying it. But I'm not there right now. I'm in Boston. But that being said, we did a lot of parallel play where we would do our own little tasks, and then we would take a break and then just have a nice coffee or a nice lunch, and then just chat in like the nice weather. And so that was always fun. It's like it was our version of kind of the water cooler, but I think a lot cooler. So I see also that there's been a lot of wrecks in the I'm also the worst too, is what Christina's saying. So Allie, I'm also in that nomad land. But I think it is fun that people have given a lot of recs about Denver, Colorado, a lot of coffee shops there for Allie Brandt. And so people keep putting in your suggestions. Love when people share comments. We have 1 more minute, and then Darcy Bowles is coming on in. So
okay. So it was Mine mentioned virtual offices, and Darcy kind of like jumped right in with the comment that I was going to give, is that like, I'm not a big fan of the virtual office stuff. Unless it's more like invitational. Hey, do you want to work together? Right. And I think it's much more in that voice call space that makes sense. But like knowing where someone is on the little map and you can click in and like hard. I've not enjoyed like the feeling of like being observed. Like I think that's what a lot of what that is about, right? Truth be told. So thank you, Darcy, for there. Oh, Christina says vote. Okay,
so
I'll quit talking.
Like we coined this new term, work from community. I'm really into it. Do we want to leave as a mutual concession, or do the people want to vote?
I think they do want to vote, but like
right.
but no matter the outcome, I'm locking arms with you, Allie. I hope that was clear from the chat version of me that I'm on your team.
Everyone should vote, and then
I'm voting for myself. Okay.
So LinkedIn, work from community.
Sorry if that's not
Let's make
against
it
the
happen.
rules. Yeah.
Okay, let's give them 15 seconds to vote. And I want to plug that if you do want
by myself
to work with, try looking at FocusMate. We interviewed the founder, Taylor, and he has a lot of people in his community. So I think that virtual community can work as long as you're making those real deep connections. And it can be really helpful for people that need that visual accountability. So again, as we have said before, you do you. There's a million ways to do remote work. You just need to make it work for you.